And good afternoon and welcome to People's Internet Radio. That's www.peoplesinternetradio.com, where we are seeking solutions. And I think you can probably hear it in my voice that I am seeking the solution to have a voice for radio. I've just spent a weekend. Welcome everybody to my midday show. Sorry, I forgot to say that. And I am Sean Maguire. I forgot to say that. I've just come back from a festival, the Elysian Festival, the Elysian Circus Festival of Fools. And yes, we were fools, outstanding in our field, so we were for 3-4 days. I was there Thursday night, and what an incredible experience it was, pouring with rain on the Friday when we woke up to just downpours and mud everywhere. And then strangely the Saturday was just stunning, like it was the middle of summer. Everywhere was gorgeous. Everyone was sunbathing, in fact, and out in their shorts and t-shirts. It was quite amazing. And then, the next day, why don't you get rained on again? And we were. It was an incredible time. It was just a meeting of incredible minds. Yes, there were lots of people who just wanted to festiate and listen to music and get off their heads on certain imbibing of drugs and drink and all the rest of it. But you know what? I spent a weekend there where I genuinely met incredible people, wonderful people. I've got some stories to tell. I've got things to say. Oh my gosh, the memories will be coming thick and fast over the next few days. And next week I'm going to be inviting on Shazzy Shaz. She's been on my show before in the afternoon, talking with Natty Whaler and a few others about music in Galway. But there she was, and she was running part of the festival, all the circus acts and circus people going around the shows, going around the fields, going around the camping areas, doing all their stuff. She organised all that and all the people, and it was just a magical time. I'll have her on my show next Tuesday. That is what my intention is. Hopefully that will happen. Now, all I can say is I have a lovely show lined up for you. I'm really, really looking forward to Aidan Killian coming on. But I have a little thing to tell you. I'm a bit crocked. I'm a little bit crocked.
How?
Oh, hi Aidan, how are you doing?
Good. Should I put it on mute now?
Yeah, tell you what, shove it on mute and I'll do a bit of waffling. I'm just about to explain what's happening right now, Aidan. Welcome to my show, by the way. Okay, so look, I'm a bit crocked because, as I say, I'm sort of lost my voice a bit and doing loads of poetry and all the rest of it during the weekend of the festival. It was an amazing time, an absolutely amazing time. Fantastic people. I have a story to tell you about Phil Hutnell and Orbital and loads of other things, and I will be doing that either next week or the week after, or maybe in between, and a bit on Facebook and all the rest of it, because it was just a fantastic time. Not the best organised festival on the planet, but when things go like that and then good people are around and they step up to the plate, things magically happen. This poet ended up on a gate, letting in all the performers in and out whilst he was getting absolutely drenched on the Friday. I was there to do poetry. I ended up doing all sorts. I ended up sitting in the ticket office, giving people their wristbands and ticking them off as they came in. Basically, Jesus, I ended up one of the production staff. So that type of thing does happen. I did end up doing my poetry and all the rest of it. But because of what I did, lots and lots of magical karma, instant karma happened. It was just brilliant. Now, I'm explaining to you guys that I have a sore throat and I'm not feeling too fantastic, but my guest, Aidan Killian, who has a fantastic show that we're going to be talking about coming up very, 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 very shortly, he also isn't feeling very good. He's a bit under the weather. In fact, he's probably wishing that he's not coming on with Sean Maguire on a Tuesday afternoon to do this. And I really, really do thank him for doing so. So, Aidan Killian, are you with me, my friend?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hello, Aidan. Now, I know you're struggling, and I know you're trying to sound like you're a normal human being. Not that you ever were one.
I'm on the mend. I'm on the mend. I just want to stay healthy before the show, Sean. You know yourself. Thanks for having me.
Sure, hey. Haven't had you yet. No, I'm joking. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, being the important word there.
Yeah. Look, I tell you what, I know that we're going to be struggling through this part and we'll probably play a few tunes and all the rest of it and take a few breaks. Aidan, you've got a fantastic show coming up, and not that you haven't done fantastic shows before, but it seems to be that out of all the comedians out there, now let me tell you one of my heroes, okay? Growing up in England, one of my favourite comics of all time was Mark Thomas. He is an amazing, amazing person himself. He's written fantastic books. His stand-up comedy is just in your face, telling as it is, and bloody, bloody funny. And feck's sake, Aidan, I'm putting you up there with him.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Chortle, who are the UK's main comedy reviewers, called me the comparable to Mark Thomas, like Mark Thomas without the coziness.
Without the coziness.
They wrote about me. So there you go, Sean.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I suppose it's just it's about people, all right. I mean, some people are interested in sports, or some people are interested in money or nature or cricket, or people have their different hobbies, right? And I suppose I'm into the truth, or at least peeling back layers to get towards the truth. So I'm a comedian, so I use my interest. Whereas if you're a comedian and you're interested in golf, for example, you'd probably talk about golf, right?
Okay.
So Mark's just talking about what he's interested in, and I talk about what I'm interested in. And right now I'm fascinated by whistleblowers, because these are just the Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning of the world. Yes. People who put themselves forward and get punished for sharing the truth with people. I find that I wonder in 20 years from now, will we look back and go, wow, these guys are heroes, or will they disappear from people's memory, or will they be considered traitors? Well, only time will tell, Sean.
Well, I tell you what, time will tell. I mean, there's obviously people's opinions. Now, I'd say that, the elites and all the rest of it would love that airbrushed out. They'd love the fascist dictatorship to move in, the UN Agenda 21 to be working, and all the rest of it, and us to be their little plebby slaves, buying crap and giving them our money, okay? So and being sick and funding their pharmaceutical industries and all the rest of it, okay? So, but what I'm saying is, right now, is that I actually have an amazing positivity with people like yourself doing what you're doing. With people like us on People's Internet Radio, getting it out there and saying as much as we can. This is a chilled hour, especially as I'm knackered and you're sick, okay? But it really is, I think, looking forward, that some will be heroes when we research them properly and realise how much fantastic work they've done. And I think some were planted there to make the other ones look not like heroes.
Interesting. Oh, what do you mean by that, Sean?
Okay, what I mean by that is if you're gonna have a resurgence of awareness, and you don't really want it to happen because you're in control and you don't want people to be aware, you wish they were still trying to learn Latin and not read the Bible, right? Over the years, you're going to be in a situation where you might think, okay, there's a whistleblower doing that, and they're doing bastards. They're exposing us. They're telling the truth about what's going on. Sure, we have much money on our side as we possibly can. We can set one up to tell lies and lies and lies, get a massive truth movement, group of people thinking that the earth is flat or something, and going on with that and believing whatever the crack is, split the truth movement up, split the awareness project up, split all those programming who are people, unprogrammed people, and yeah, let's shove a few Mickeys in their drink. And I didn't mean that by one thing, I meant drugs. And and really fuck up their whistleblowing scenario, because ad hominem is unfortunately what most people can't get round their logical fallacy head. So as soon as you put one whistleblower who's telling the truth with another whistleblower that they've set up to tell shit or lies, you end up with people not believing any of them.
Yeah, right. I call it the poo and the stew theory, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, so we got David Icke, and if you read one of his books, you go, wow, that's fascinating. He talks about the elite family connections. He talks about the monetary system and how it's all set up to take the wealth from the masses and put it in the hands of the few. He talks about the pillars of society, like, the legal system, the banking system, the education system, all being set up to turn us into, like, using my own words, drone-type humans, like human beings, right? Slaves, basically slaves. Yeah. And you're going, wow, that looks truthful, that looks truthful. And then he says there's reptilians.
Yeah.
And you wonder, is that like the poo and the stew, right? Like you invite your friends over for a stew and you say, come on over, everybody. And you get the best organic lamb, and you have vegetarians for the vegetarians, and you get your onions and your all locally grown organic food. The best you can get, and you put it all in there and you cook it, you do it just right, and the next day you take the stew out and you put it on the table, and you've got all the best cutlery out, and you've got on the good table, and your friends are sitting down and people are saying bon appetit, and you go, whoa, hang on a second, and you get on the table and you take your pants down and put a little bit of poo in the stew. And then you say, right, who wants stew? And of course, Sean, nobody wants it because there's like, no, there's poo in it. But what about all the good stuff that's in that stew?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what you're saying about the whistleblowers. If you just put one that's kind of, you know, rubbish along with everybody else's, then people can taint all of them as rubbish. So, you know, I don't really know, right? I don't know. I only know from what I've researched and what I've read and what I've watched from Assange and Manning and Snowden. They're the three whistleblowers I concentrate on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if one of them, I mean, how can I possibly know? I mean, they could all be, you know, setting us up, and it could all be nonsense, you know, but I see that they're getting punished for it. Assange is stuck inside the Ecuadorian embassy, and Manning is serving 35 years, and Snowden seems to be stuck in Russia, but he seems to have got off a bit lighter than the others, right?
Yeah. Look, I've said that because I don't even know what I'm saying is true or not. I only know it's what I think has been accepted by my logical and critical mind, if I have one.
Which one are you referring to? Or any of them?
I'm not referring to any of them.
It's just a general concept, right?
Yeah, I'm not referring to any of them. In fact, I actually agree with you in my thought processes that those three are, in fact, whistleblowers who should be lauded rather than lambasted or even treated badly. So I'm actually with you on that one. If I was a comedian, Aidan, and I wanted to do a show on whistleblowers, which is what you're doing, they're the three I'd pick.
Well, yes, they're the well-known ones, right?
Yeah.
But then again, you know, they're well-known, but when I'm talking about them, I realise that a lot of the audience haven't got a clue. So I have to do it in such a way that's interesting for people who do know what's going on, and also interesting for people who you don't really know who these are, their background. And I mean, it's very easy to cook. Oh, sugar. Can you hear that?
I can, but don't worry.
Okay. Just give us a second. Sorry.
No bother.
Entertain the masses.
Oh, I don't know how to entertain the masses. I tell you what, maybe we'll just put a track on, shall we? And, I don't know. Let's have a bit of Kings of the Wild Frontier, Dog Eat Dog, and then Aidan can take his call. This is live radio. This is Sean Maguire live on my midday show. It's absolutely fantastic to have poor old Aidan Killian from his bed with his lemsips and all the rest of it. Looking forward to his gig. We'll talk about his gig in a little while, but let's put Aidan, if you've muted
I am back.
Oh, well, I was just about to put a track on, but should we have a bit of a break?
Okay, go for it. Sorry for the message.
Not at all. Grab your cup of tea or whatever you need, your lemon and hot whatever, and your water bottle. And we'll listen to Dog Eat Dog by
sure, I feel better already listening to your lovely voice, Sean.
Well, I think a bit of positivity. You know, I'm absolutely knackered, and I feel better for listening to you too, Aidan. So there you go. We got good things happening. Look, a show that we're going to be talking about in a little while, and I'm going to go. I've actually got permission from my wife and kids to get my arse down to Dublin. And,
woohoo!
Yes, and see you in the Sugar Club. But we'll talk about that in a little bit, because at the moment, with those whistleblowers and all the rest of it, is a bit of a dog-eat-dog world. They're being treated badly. Hopefully in the future, they won't be. Let's play a track. Let's mute our mics. Chill. Dog-eat-dog. Kings of the Wild Frontier. Adam and Leanne's. And welcome back to my midday show. This is Sean Maguire live on People's Internet Radio. That's www.peoplesinternetradio.com, where we are seeking solutions, and absolutely thrilled to have from his unwell bed, hopefully getting better as we speak, if I can send him, and all you guys can send Aidan as much positivity as we can, because he needs to be on stage on Thursday
in
night.
2 days.
In 2 days.
Woohoo! I can't wait, Sean. I've been waiting. This is like a year project for me.
Yeah.
It's like last year I gave myself, after I did the Sugar Club, I did what I do is every year I record the show. Last year I recorded the show, so the aim is then to drop that show and then spend the next year coming up with a new one. So just after that one, I gave myself a list of things to do. I wanted to finish my book. I had some family stuff to take care of and lots of bits and pieces, and I got all of them finished so I could concentrate fully on this show. And I've done bits of it in 9 countries in Asia.
Yeah.
Including Burma, Thailand, Hong Kong, where else? Vietnam. I was all over the place, and this is when I was working on it. And I came back, did Brighton Fringe, and I did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which went really great. And now I'm here, and it's fresh, and I'm ready to record. And I've only one night, one possibility, one opportunity to get this right. And then, boom, move on to the next show.
Well, look, it's absolutely brilliant, and the amount of work you're doing is being seen. Can you tell us a bit about the book? Because I've been getting emails. You know, I'm a poor poet. I can't afford a book. But, you know, tell us about the book.
Can't afford a book. Book is Dear Plonker. So, as you well know, I dealt with the perceived authorities, banks, debt collectors, solicitors, all these people. And as I was doing it, I learned how to deal with it in a way that I could handle it. And I got pretty confident at it. So then I started adding humor to my letters because I was so confident that I was going to win every time.
Yeah.
So the book is just an accumulation of my letters. People kept on saying, Aidan, write a book. I don't feel that I'm an author. I never wanted to be a writer or anything, but I wrote the book, and it's, I know I'm biased, but it's pretty good, Sean. It's pretty good.
No, I've heard good things about it, and I've had emails from other friends saying, "Are you going to interview Aidan about his book?" That was ages ago. So
here's what I did. So I had first I had Meteor, the phone company. They sent me a text message advertising a new product, and I could have ignored that, or I could have informed them that they're in breach of contract because I never agreed to being advertised to without my consent. So I told them I wasn't paying the bill that month, and they didn't agree, right? And I said, look, you guys are in breach of contract and you've wasted my time. You've shown a disrespect for my time, and I'm letting you off lightly. I'm not going to sue you or anything. I'm just saying I'm not paying you the bill. And if you cut me off, well, then you'll have to deal with it in a court of law because you're the ones who broke the contract. And they agreed in the end, right?
Yes, of course.
And then I said, if you do it again, I'll bill you €100 per text.
Yes.
So I got 3 more texts from them. So I billed them for €300.
Yeah, brilliant.
And we went back and forth, and ultimately, I don't want to kill it, right? But I won. Now, this wasn't a big deal for me, but people are fascinated by this. Like, really? How can you do it? So for me, it was like, okay, well, then so I beat the TV license people. Or wait, Meteor sent their debt collectors after me. I became friends with them. One of the debt collectors was writing me. I ended up meeting her for coffee, becoming friends with her. I turned a perceived enemy into a friend. That was that chapter. And the TV license people wanted to be paid, so I made my own currency and paid them with that. And then they never sent it back to me. So following the law, I said, well, you've got my money. I defined it as money. It has a value as per the definition of money. If you're talking about currency, I never agreed to give you guys currency. I've paid you in money. Now give me my money back, or I get permission to call you a thief. They never sent me my money back. So I said, okay, you're a thief. And then ultimately they left me alone.
or they accepted it as payment. It's a bit like us guys that have known this stuff for a while, Aidan, sticking an old sign. If the Garda Síochána come here, they don't actually get out of the van at all. They'd like to contract from the middle of the street. Because there's a good old sign, and they know that if they come on my land, and it is my land, even if it's registered to anyone else, I'll charge them €3,000 a minute.
Oh, that's very reasonable, Sean. You're worth at least that. I'd say up your amount.
But they don't come in now.
180 grand a month. Wow.
Yeah, but they just don't come in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. They'd like to contract from a distance. And I don't.
That makes sense. Yeah. So, I just wrote, but I show my letters in this and I talk about what I'm doing. So ultimately the book it's for people who don't know any of this, Sean, right? I just want to make it that anybody can pick it up and read it and enjoy it. Like, my grandmother could pick it up. Well, there's a few bits in it that are slightly crude for my grandmother because she's such a lady. But an average person could pick this book up and enjoy it and still learn from it. And the book might plant seeds where they think they more openly. Yeah. And they're more open to thinking themselves creatively. So that's it. So, some people see it as like very anarchist, but I'm okay with that because anarchist is just someone who has no beginning, like a godlike being. And I think we're all gods ultimately. I know that's getting deep, and don't mean to go deep, but we are all creators. We're here. We have a mind and we have our own emotions. We're all like individual gods,
Aidan.
Maybe connected to something that I don't have a full understanding of, but
Aidan,
to think that we're in a hierarchy system where one person stands on top of another, that's really just slavery, and I don't consent to being a slave. So I prefer being a god than a slave.
Aidan, I don't think for a second that it's deep at all. I think we are the centre of each other's universe. I'm inflicting my persona on your universe right now, and you're honouring me with allowing me to do that, and I'm inviting you into my universe. We are kings, we are gods, we are exactly who we should be. There is no one subject to anyone else, and until people eradicate that from their mind, how the fuck can we get on?
It's funny you say that because I signed my book as King Aidan. I put my real name on it too, but I signed a lot of my letters as King Aidan.
Right. Well, every man I meet...
They refer to me as King Aidan, but it's more difficult than you think. They don't like referring to you as a king.
Well, listen, I don't want people to refer us as kings, right? I just want people to...
Well, I'd like the TV license guy to call me a king.
Oh, well, then that's because he's subject to all the bullshit he's subject to, and fair enough. But look, people are going to be looking up to you anyway. There are people who are going to have their own perceptions of who Aidan Killian is up on stage doing this. For fuck's sake, at one point you were Jesus and Buddha.
Jesus and Buddha, yeah, I was acting as them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Here, what else do I do in the book? I deal with the insurance company. They don't want to pay my uncle 25 grand, or I think it's 40 or something. They do in the end. It took a lot of letters. That one's a bit more serious. I have a random selection letters of people, friends that I've helped. E-flow, debt collectors, solicitors, put all that in a book and I make it legible. The book's called DearPlonker.com and you can get it on www.dearplonker.com.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And I'm actually getting it, I've been getting emails about Dear Plonker from, is it the Descartes group and all them? And
Yeah, Common Law Society, they published it, right? Because the publisher's the one who gets sued. So ultimately, I mean, a real publisher wouldn't touch that because I use real information, real letters, real companies, real names. I don't redact anything because I'm trying to be transparent because I think a more transparent world is in the interest of all of mankind. But they're not afraid, really. They're not afraid of the courts because, well, there's no lies in it, so they're not really afraid of libel. But if I went to a different publisher, one, they probably wouldn't do it, and two, if they did, well, they could just get sued and the book would be taken off, and that would be the end of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So fair play to the Common Law Society.
Absolutely, that's the way to do it. I mean, my poetry is a little bit, near the knuckle for a few people as well, and it's self-published, so that's the way to go about that. Sue me, okay? I've got nothing. Sue me. But it's a great thing you're doing, and I've heard great things
Thanks.
about. Yeah, I've heard great things about Dear Plonker, and the one thing I like, I mean, I live my lifestyle the way I do now. Whether it's right, wrong, indifferent, it doesn't matter as long as I harm no one and I think I'm doing okay and I try with good intent. Aidan, you're walking the walk. You're talking the talk, and that to me is bigger and braver than some of the whistleblowers you're going to be talking about, to be honest.
Well, I don't know about that now, but...
Well, you're not looking at it properly then.
I do my small little piece. With the whistleblowers, I try and... I mean, in Edinburgh, I got like a 5-star review and I got a 4-star review and then I got a 1-star review from this person. And they really slated me and said, I was one-sided and, it's on Broadway Baby if you want to read it. Broadway Baby, Aidan Killian. And the guy basically, he attacks, but you can see from it, it's because he's got a different political idea.
Of course.
And he's talking about things I didn't write and so on. So if he's saying I'm biased, he's clearly biased from his review. But my point is that I try and not... I try and just put the facts as they are there and let people make their own opinion. Yeah, I am biased. Of course I'm biased. It's Julian Assange, man. There's like rape charges. They're not even charges. There's like statements that aren't signed. The woman involved says she wasn't raped. He's in the Ecuadorian embassy. They've spent nearly $20 million keeping him there based on a rape. They're not doing a favor to genuine rape survivors. They're making a mockery of rape victims, if you ask me, and the whole world's turning the other eye. Sweden are taking the piss, saying that they won't, we won't guarantee, we won't extradite you to America. Why not? Because you're liars, right? And America have a huge case against Julian Assange. There's nothing to do with that. So the fact that this is happening in front of our eyes and people, general, average, smart people, well-educated people are going, oh, well, he's probably a rapist. That's really wrong, Sean.
Absolutely.
That's really wrong that people are thinking like that, it's like...
Yeah, but look at the propaganda machine. I mean, bless them. I mean, all the right-wing people are right-wing, all the left-wing people are left-wing. You take a freaking wing off a bird and it'll go around in circles. So, like... and that's what they're all doing. And look what they're doing now with the propaganda of refugees having to escape war-torn areas that we've created, coming over here. And they're migrants, they want our jobs, they're going to screw the system, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's just unreal, the amount of propaganda. That's right-wing bullshit that is being put into people. But there's left-wing bullshit too. I haven't seen socialism work without death, have you?
Without, murder, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Death as in people dying?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about these things, Sean.
Well, at least you say when you don't know, Aidan, because I think that's where we all are. We're winging it. I want my left and right wings to be flapping. I don't want one or the other.
I like that, the picture of the poor bird with one wing going around in circles, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
We need both our wings. We need balance. We need to be able to think by ourselves and make decisions for ourselves. Like that kid, the picture of the kid on the beach, that they put everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's emotional blackmail. The refugee, the little kid, you see this picture of a kid and you're like, what's going on here? Who's putting that in there and who's making all this? Because, of course, then you have everybody thinking, we've got to do something about it. Like, I don't want to say anything controversial, but like I don't like being told how to think, right? I don't know if that kid is just having a nap for all I know, right? I don't really like them putting that on the paper there. Yeah, of course there's murder. There's 1.3 million people dead in Iraq. Where were you guys at the march? Were you at the march to stop the war? What about the serious stuff when Putin was trying to stop the invasion of Russia with the ad in the New York Times and everyone was just calling him a homophobe? I mean, people need, if there's war, there's going to be people dead, children, women, adults, human beings are going to die. And that's the way it is. But we can't allow a war to happen and then get all emotionally involved as soon as we see a picture of somebody in pain.
No, I think what's actually happening, Aidan, is like we genuinely need to look at how wars are created, what's happening, all the rest of it. And I mean, if you look back in history at every single war that's ever existed and the conflicts that are even invented in continents like Africa, in continents like Asia, in continents like Europe, etc., these are, look at it, follow the money, they're banking organized wars. People who can't even eat because they've got no food, somehow they can have a rebellion with guns and ammunition at top dollar. I mean, what the fuck, you know? So this is obviously orchestrated. I mean, if you just use your critical mind for a second, it's orchestrated. They're organized. They want the minerals and you know, oh, the Africa is such a poor country. Well, no, the wars are there because it's such a rich country in resources and they don't want the people to have it. They want it. Greed. Simple.
Yeah, I wonder, do we benefit from that?
Well, of course we do. Living in the Western world, we do, because they are able to give us, through the massive resources they create, they're able to keep us dumbed down, hooked to our iPhones, wondering when the next one coming out, and they keep us consumers as though we are comfortable, but we are just as much slaves. We just haven't got a gun pointed at our head. We've got some other bullshit pointed at our head. We are slaves. We are slaves now. I respect you, Aidan, and everyone else as a king or a queen or a prince or a princess, but until everybody does that, we ain't gonna have
slave king.
Yes.
The slave king.
Yes, we are enslaved, okay? We're sitting here and we've got fairly freedom of voice. We're here on the radio. You can say what you want, Aidan. I can say what I want. Let's see how far we get before we're going to be Snowdened under and put into a prison or something like that. Well, it hasn't happened yet here. That's because they still need to keep the illusion of our freedom. Which is why I try.
Well, it's interesting, Sean, because if we are going to the FEMA camps, at least you and me will be on the first train, huh?
Look, Mussolini and Stalin and Hitler and all them, they were sent out. What was it? They sent them out to kill the storytellers and the poets who were telling the truth. So we're fucked.
Is that right? I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. The storytellers were killed, weren't they? Oh.
Yeah, and they killed all the harpists, which is quite interesting. And I want to add this and just...
No way! Tell me more about that. I never knew that.
Yes. People who made, created and built and also played the harp. Now I'm going to learn more whether I'm telling you bullshit or not, Aidan. At the moment, this is what I think I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were the ones that were sending the frequency out to awaken people through the harp. Why do you think angels carry harps? And do you see what I mean? It's a change of the frequency for the better. And it is...
No way, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Silence the harps.
Yes.
Kill the harp.
Yes.
Okay, I googled them now as you're talking. I know that's a bit rude.
They did it. Hey, I don't think you're going to find your fucking truths on the internet too often, are you? You know, the Google is now, you have to go 20 pages down before you get to a little bit of modicum of truth. But anyway, we have to realise the propaganda machine we're in. But what I was saying was, I want to do a little advert. The reason I'm allowed, Aidan, to go to your gig, which we have to talk about before you go, because that's important that we get a few bums on seats, not because I want to be your friend or whatever. I think you've stuff to say, and I absolutely loved the last show. I was at a fluoride demonstration thing, and then a gig, and then you were one of the acts on that. I was pretty blown away by it, Aidan. I thought you were fucking great. You were actually slagged by some idiot in the crowd, and I wish I ended up having an argument with him outside. Actually,
good. I hope you kicked his ass.
I didn't.
In a loving way.
Verbally, I abused him and ridiculed him publicly.
Oh, it's the big guy.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Was he a plant or what?
He was a plant.
That was crazy.
He is a plant.
The rest of them outside.
No, he is a plant. No, he doesn't think he is, obviously. No, people don't think they are. But anyway, what I'm saying is you're saying all this brilliant stuff. Now, the only reason I'm allowed to go to your Sugar Club gig is because the following day, I think it's from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. I've got to get those times right. But check it out anyway on Google or on Facebook or on People's Internet Radio pages, etc. Billy Maguire and for the cultural night, which is happening all over Ireland, Culture Night or whatever, on the 18th. Is it the 18th? Yes. Billy Maguire will be speaking in the Teachers Club in Parnell Square. And I really want to be there because guess what it is, Aidan? And it's something due to my heart. It's the true...
It's going to be about the harp, I imagine.
It is the history of the harp.
Sovereign seal, shall I say.
It is the harp and the meaning behind it and all the rest of it. And I've got my views that have been built up through my family and friends over the years. And I really, really want to hear what Billy Maguire from the IRB has to say about it.
Well, that's good. You get to kill two birds at one stone, as they say.
Exactly. Thursday and Friday. So Thursday night is you in the Sugar Club. And then if I hang around and chill in Dublin for a bit, I'll be able to see and hear. And guess what? They're going to have a load of harpists playing and the frequency and the music. So it should be a really interesting night. But let's get back to Aidan Killian and the Sugar Club. What time?
Yeah.
What time are you starting? What time are you kicking off?
Sugar Club. Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Tickets are on Ticketmaster, or you can turn up at the door, but get them on Ticketmaster because it looks like, it was full last year, and I think it's going to be full this year. But I'm not 100% sure. It depends on the weather. If we get one of those lashing down rains, people might just stay at home and watch Netflix. You know what people are like.
Well, let's hope not. Listen, I've just been to a festival where they thought nobody would show up because of the weather and all the rest of it, and it was kicking. It was rocking. People need their outlets. People need not to be sitting listening to the goggle box and the propaganda constantly and reading shite. They need people like you, Aidan.
Well, they need themselves to get up off their bottoms. So come in on Thursday, see for yourself. Show about whistleblowers. I'm pretty sure it's the only comedy show in the world about whistleblowers. I don't really think Irish people care, Sean. I'll be honest with you. I actually don't think they care because I was sold out all the time in Edinburgh. I've been invited to perform at Glastonbury. I'm invited to perform in Australia, Malta Fringe. So I think people around the world seem to care more. I don't think Irish people are that into it. They just want to sort of put their head down and, get on with it.
I think you're painting the Irish people because you're here in the midst of it. With the one brush. I think if you lived in America, you'll see that they don't really care if you want to look at it. There's only the few that do. And in every country you go, it's usually only a small percentage that actually have decided, actually, I'm going to look into that. Is that true? Let me look and see, and then care about their environment around them and what's actually going on. I think you'll find that people do care wherever.
Like our fluoridated water and our pints of Guinness.
Yeah, well, I hear that, but that's only the masses. At their masses every week, and I mean at their masses in church or at their masses in the pub. It really genuinely is up to a few, and you're one of the few saying it. Look, Mark Thomas, why do you think his work has been subdued for so long and he's a bit of a cult? And the reason he's a bit of a cult is because the mainstream media said...
Well, he's had a TV show, in fairness, hasn't he?
No, he has, but he got kicked off because of what he did on the TV shows.
Oh, yeah, maybe. What did he do?
Sure, come on, parking a tank outside McDonald's and going to buy their burgers and then selling them, and when he's selling them saying, here, buy this poison burger. He did all sorts. He went down the subways and talked to tube police and asked them, were they on their oath and what are they doing and why have they got...
Wow, cool.
He did loads of stuff with his shows. It was fan-bloody-tastic, okay? And it didn't last long. I mean, a few things get away with it for a while. They get through the net. And I remember not the 9 o'clock news way back, and they really ripped everything, then spit an image. And, these things were irreverent. They were telling it as it is. Were they listened to by many people? No, most people just...
Well, we'll see now, Sean, on Thursday. Will it be packed? Will it not? We'll find out then.
Yeah, well, all I can say is, I don't know how many people listen to me. I don't know how many people have read...
1 million. There's less than 250 people. Ireland can go fuck themselves.
Aidan, I love Ireland, okay? And I think we're going to do something, even if it's just a few of us, to change this beautiful island into somewhere worth living. And you know what? I don't care if people are asleep, okay? Because it's up to us to make sure that when they flick their switch on and they turn on their kettle and their lights, that it isn't fracked, or it isn't oil, or it isn't fucking nuclear, that we sort it out. And that's up to us. And the work you're doing, the work we're doing, hopefully there'll be enough people to change things at the top.
Mm-hmm. All right, sounds good. I'm in.
But listen, I couldn't possibly come on a show every week and say what I say if I didn't believe that at least optimism and positivity is worth hanging on to.
I hear you.
Okay. Listen, should we take a little break? Have a wee tune, as they say, a wee break. Look, you're sick of all the stuff. I'm sick of all the stuff. We could be positive and negative and all the rest of it. Right. Listen, I know that you're not feeling well, so we'll play a tune. When you come back, we'll say our goodbyes to everybody, okay? But we will tell the absolute details of how they can get to the Sugar Club, what time it starts, and it's €15 a ticket, guys. That's nothing. Do you know you can pay?
Yeah, and we got Craig Campbell, who's one of the best acts in the world. He's flying over from the UK to support me, which is kind of cool. And we got Ronan O'Schnodig from Keela, and probably Eamon Campbell, but that's not definite. But he's probably going to go up from the Dubliners and sing a few tunes. And these guys aren't doing it for money. It's just because they believe in what I'm talking about. So,
well, you've got a
awesome night. And by the way, 15 quid a ticket. Before you start thinking that's loads. Most of the time with these events, last year I lost money, and it's most likely I'll lose money on it this year too. So,
Aidan, don't even think that.
15 quid is a lot. That's like the price of a cinema ticket and half a popcorn. So
Aidan,
just make it happen.
Aidan, it's very important that you know you're as pissed off with the masses as I am. You're a bit, you sort of expressed it just now on the show, right? To be totally honest, if anyone thinks the €15 is expensive when they go out and have a couple of pints, packet of fags, and take the piss all night and blow all their wages on a weekend, who needs their head examined, okay? And the people who turn up to your show are in for a massive treat. I can feckin' verify it, okay? So, and I didn't realise your show was going to be bigger. I mean, I thought it was just yourself. So you got Keela, possibility, Ronan doing a bit, and you've got a brilliant comedian coming over from England. Look, you've got a feckin' show that is worth... Anyway, I won't say it, but other comedians charge more. So look, the financial side of it, I think, is going to not be so annoying to you in the future. It really isn't, okay? I'm going to put a tune on, and we're going to take a wee break, and then you can either come back with me, Aidan, or you can say goodbye now, but I will promote the show that you're doing on Thursday and give all the details.
Yeah, I might say goodbye now, if I may, Sean.
Yeah, I know you're struggling. I really do know you're struggling.
Yeah, I can feel myself getting more clogged up here for the, for my, I just want to be able to be fresh tomorrow, ideally, certainly for Thursday.
Absolutely.
So thanks for having me. Love and peace and happiness and truth to you and all your listeners.
Aidan,
and hopefully I'll see some of you on Thursday.
Listen, I'll be there. I hope to drag a few other people along. I've spoken to other people and they said they're going and they're paying. So hopefully you've got all seats paid up, full, and you're not going to lose money, and we're going to have a fucking...
I'm telling you, Sean, it's full or else I'm leaving the country.
Well, bugger.
Yeah. It's my ultimatum. It's my ultimatum to you. If you want me to stay, fucking be there.
If there's one seat empty, I'm going to go up to you and
go... one. I swear to God, one seat, that's it. I'll be in Australia.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I'm going to say, if there's one seat missing, I'm going to walk up to you at the end of the gig and go, feck off then.
All right, I will. Be careful.
All right, man. I'm not wishing for that. Aidan Killian, thank you so much for coming on my midday show.
Peace out, bro. Take it easy.
Absolutely brilliant. So, Luke, you take it easy. You make sure you get all well and healthy. And I'm going to put on a tune. Say cheerio to the man. It's Sugar Club, 8 p.m. Thursday. Don't not be there. If you're in Dublin, sure, where else would you be going on a Thursday night? Get your arse down to the Sugar Club. Get your arse in to see some, not just funny stuff, but stuff you might just think about as well. Thanks, Aidan. Take care. Now we're going
see you, bro. Take it easy.
Thanks a lot, man. We're going to play The Joint and Sick of It.
Once upon a time I used to give it, now I'm sick of it. Sick to death of always being in the thick of it. Yeah. Once upon a time I used to give it, now I'm sick of it. Sick to death of always being in the thick of it.
And welcome back to my midday show. This is Sean Maguire live on People's Internet Radio. That's www.people'sinternetradio.com, where we are seeking solutions. And, you know, I think that PIR commercial, there's a few missing from it, and there's probably going to be more added to it. But you know what? It is such a fantastic radio station to be on. I am honoured. And I'm also honoured to invite right now onto my midday show Andy Young from Enemy Within Radio. Andy, are you with me, my friend?
Hi, sure. Yeah, I am. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you fine. Well, at least I can anyway. I hope everybody else can. Okay. Andy, you've got a heck of a show tonight.
Yeah. It's quite a new experience for us. We've not really done the round table thing. Well, I say we've not really done the round table. We actually ended up with a round table last Friday night. Mickey Summers got several people involved. We had Mickey, Kaz, Mark Fragg-Smith and Russell Burton on.
Brilliant.
And Paul Webster, I don't know if you've come across Paul, he does the Gas, Water and Electric are free. He's been on Vinnie Eastwood, Mark Windows.
Yeah, no, I've heard him, and many more should hear him.
Yeah, he's been on our show 3 or 4 times now. And Paul's lined up this round table, and I thought he'd just get a few of his mates in, but no. Paul's gone to town, and he's got Vinnie Eastwood lined up for us. He's going to be getting up at the crack of dawn to call in from New Zealand.
Yep.
Joe Hoban from Beat the Bailiffs and the Banks, doing some great work on there. Joe will be able to tell us a bit more about that. And then we've got Cliff Rockefeller, who he does his own radio show over in New Zealand. He's another one up at the early hours. And he's been on with us before on Enemy Within a while back. Russell Burton again. I hadn't made contact with Russell till about halfway through the intro tune that we play on a Friday night, so it was quite lucky to get him in there. And Mark Windows just to round it off, so it promises to be quite an exciting night. And Tom's back from his holidays.
Listen, it all sounds absolutely fantastic. I don't want anyone to miss that. Do you know, I actually have to catch your pods because of like family life and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Everybody's got their life to live as well as listening to the radio, aren't they?
Yeah, but I got to tell people that, you know, when I have managed to tune into you and I have managed to catch up one of your podcasts, feck's sake, guys, you're doing great work. Really, really great work. I'm so chuffed that you're on our station.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's kind of you to say so. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed by the response. I mean, I don't know if you caught the inclined bed one we did with Andrew K. Fletcher the other week.
Shut up. Look, I'm ill, and of course I've moved my bed up.
It's
yes,
amazing.
It was brilliant.
I'm getting people contacting me every day saying it's cured this, it's improved that. Myself and my partner, we're both not terribly well, but since we did that, we both got a big reduction in pain.
Yes.
And we also wake up in the morning with a hell of a lot more energy, which is a massive help.
Yeah, well, look, I'm basically walking around in constant pain. You know, that's how I live my life. It's how I ended up on the radio, I suppose, because I couldn't really do anything physical.
Snap.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, look, anything that improves. And let me tell you that I went away for a weekend festival, and I actually sort of put my tent, well, it actually wasn't my tent, so I can thank the person who gave me the tent. I actually made it so that I was also on an incline when I was lying down. Yeah. And, the pain was less, and I don't know, actually thinking back on it, it must have given me more energy, because I did feckin' loads. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. So, look, I think tonight is going to be a very special show, though, and Mark Windows, his show, Window on the World, and all that type of stuff, and the David Icke TV show, and TV station, rather, all that type of stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. I've had Vinny on my show, Vinny Eastwood on my show a few times. It's really important that we connect. It's really important that we make sure that the information getting out is at least debated, at least discussed, because we can't just take everything as truth, can we? And we need to sort of question. I even think stupid questions, Andy, are necessary to ask.
I'm good at them.
Just for clarification. Just, you might even know the answer to something, but if you don't ask and you don't get that verification and clarification, how do you really know?
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. I tend to like taking questions from the chat room because PIR, we've got such a knowledgeable and such a breadth of knowledge in the chat room that we usually get some pretty good questions. It saves me thinking any up.
Andy, I've been doing it for 4 years. I've been relying on my wonderful, wonderful friends in the chat room all this time. My guests, sure, I wing it. I have plenty of my own questions. I'm quite an inquisitive type of guy. But some of the questions that I wouldn't have dreamt of asking have come through our fantastic and wonderful chat room.
And something that I've found is really helpful as well since we started with PIR. I mean, we were doing 3 shows a week before we started it, and I was struggling to find guests for those 3 shows. But since we started on PIR, word really seems to be getting round, and I've got a queue of people. Yeah. You know, I'm saying to people now, it's going to be middle end of October before I can get you on.
And believe it or not, that's actually happening to me. It's taken a while. I actually genuinely, for the first 2 years, I think it was very, very rare for me to have a guest booked properly. Mm-hmm. And winging it and having people on that just magic happens on the day. And I think that's what's happening. If you go there with the intent, Andy, and what you and Tom are doing, that's what you've got. Great intent, brilliant hearts, and wonderful minds. Now, that's not me rubbing you up the right way, because if you didn't, I'd tell you were an idiot or a plonker. Or, do you know what I mean?
I hope so. Yeah, we all need that.
Well, I know when I'm a plonker, and I call myself one often. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, we've actually run over the time. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if there's anyone after me. I just don't want to be stepping on anybody's toes on PIR, which is what we don't do. We're actually all in this together, and I've had you guys on my show. I think it's fantastic. The work you're doing. I think the guests are fantastic. The work they're doing. I think it's really important for us to be able to be here to give them the platform.
Well, it is a good one, Sean. I was listening into John McSee on Saturday night. Now, normally that's I have to nip out on a Saturday night when John's on.
Yeah.
But he was talking about the official offer and how he thought we should all promote the official offer.
Yes.
I said, well, hang on, here's an idea. We've got a show that goes out on True Frequency Radio out to the States, and it goes out to a hell of a lot of people. Yeah. So how's about coming on and having a chat with us on there? So hopefully I'll be able to line something up with John sometime when he's around, and I don't know, maybe Vin or somebody, and maybe John won't come on his own, I don't know. And also, as from this Saturday, every Saturday at 2 till 4 p.m, we're going to be streaming the True Frequency show on PIR as well.
Brilliant.
So that'll give people another way to listen.
Look, for us to get the truth out there to people, we have to say to people, we're not the alternative media. We're not a load of anarchists or punks in the background or whatever trying to say our bit or say our piece or live our lives our way. We are attempting to put right the lies that have otherwise been manipulating us, and we are the media. We are the media. When someone says, I want to watch the TV, just say, you're watching PIR, or are you watching Enemy Within, are you watching Freedom? That's what we want to be saying in the future.
Yeah, well, I prefer to replace the word alternative with new.
Yeah, because we're not alternative. We're telling the feckin' truth. What's alternative to it?
Yeah.
The alternative is the lies and the propaganda. They are the alternative.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like the term alternative comedy. What's the alternative? It's the alternative to telling jokes about your mother-in-law and Pakistanis and Irishmen, isn't it?
It is weird. I was actually introduced over the weekend as an alternative poet. I don't quite know what that is, really. I thought we were all feckin' alternative. Anyway. Look, it's been bloody wonderful having Aidan Killian on. What do you think? I'm going to head down to the Sugar Club in Dublin on Thursday night, and anyone in Ireland should have a night in Dublin.
A top bloke, yeah, I'd love to be there. I think you ought to work on moving Ireland a bit nearer to the east coast of England.
Just have a little bridge there.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Listen, Andy, thank you so much. Don't miss the show. It's on. Go on, Andy, give it a plug. 7 till 9 on peoplesinternetradio.com. Well, we are seeking solutions. It sounds like a fantastic show. Good luck with that tonight. Thank you for everybody that listened. Thanks, Andy Young, for coming on from Anywhere Within Radio. Thank you so much to Aidan Killian. I really hope he gets well enough and recovers enough to be mighty and positive on his night in the Sugar Club. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Be there. 15 quid in. Hey, sure, where would you get it? And thank you to all the people in the chat room. It's absolutely fantastic. I wish I could list them off. There's 20 odd people in there on an afternoon. Is brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the ones that actually said something so I can see it. To Dinny, to Tismy, to Andy. It's absolutely wonderful to be doing this show. And God, I got through an hour where I thought I would be asleep after the festival. So listen, guys, thank you so much. This has been Sean Maguire, and at the moment Andy Young on People's Internet Radio, and I'm going to finish off the show with a little 5-minute track by me old friends the Defects. Let's have a bit of punk to finish it off. This is Revelator by the Defects. Thanks a lot, everyone, and see you tomorrow night for Out of the Bag. It's going to be a good one.